A pleasant day, everyone. This is Janelle Mbong from BSc English 1A, and for today, I'll be discussing the generative syntax. But let us not proceed to directing with the topic, but rather giving a short briefing with regards with syntax. So, what is syntax? When we say syntax, we are dealing with the arrangement of words and phrases to create well-formed sentences in a language. In addition, we will be talking about the formation of words following its standard or preferred usage of language to identify whether the structure we have created in our sentence is grammatically correct or grammatically incorrect. Because learning about linguistics and language is also learning and realizing that language is complex and therefore has a set of rules that needs to be followed. So going back, let us now proceed and give a short briefing with generative syntax so that we could understand what it is really. So it predicts the correct structures of the combination of words, because we cannot just construct our own words and sentences and then the listener would just easily understand the meaning we're trying to imply. When we say generative syntax, it is in the term itself generative, so we are talking about the general rules that we should follow, and the general usage of our structures. Under the generative syntax, we will be talking about the difference between descriptive and prescriptive grammar. But before we go directly with that, let us first take a look and examine those that are highlighted with the color red and green, and afterwards we'll exemplify and go further between the difference of the two. So when we say descriptive, we are talking about the language and words that are influenced to us by people, and thus we have acquired and practiced in our lives that we consider the way we interact with other people. It does not come in an explicit way, meaning that these do not have any rules following. Say for example, we are interacting with our peers. We only use casual conversation and do not really use proper conjugation. We simply use double negative in our words. We are influenced by using the word ain't that is actually not a standard in English language. Thus, it is just influenced to us by interacting with other people, and we caught ourselves uttering those what we hear. While when we say prescriptive, again, the word itself, prescribe, it is the standard language. It is prescribed to use and is grammatically correct. It talks about how the descriptive grammar should be used. It is the standard requirement and is taught in school, and is a prescriptive view that defines the preferred usage of language. The first example we have here in the descriptive, I graduated Japan University. And why do you think that this is not prescribed and does not follow certain rule compared to the prescriptive here? Yes, of course, because there is something missing in the sentence, which is the preposition from that I highlighted in the prescription color green, right? In the number 2 to 4 example, I highlighted the wrong usage red in descriptive, while highlighted green in the prescriptive to identify what made the sentence grammatically incorrect. The mistake in the number 2 is the double negative, which in the standard English, it does not come up with double negative within a sentence. The mistake in the number 3 is that the infinitives were split together, which the standard is that we cannot just split them too. Finally, the proper structure in number 4 is that the preposition in the sentence cannot be placed in the last sentence. Moving on from that, let us now proceed to generative syntax on Can C, 2, and C. on which we define constituency as grouping of words or words that is formed into a larger words, defining sentence as not just a linear strings of words, but is rather a complex structure. It is like an identifiable subpart of a sentence. Now, to have a clearer view, let us view some of the examples I have provided. Now we have, my dog Peppa bit the postal carrier on the ankle, which the constituent parts is the subject that is made up of noun phrase. And our noun phrase here in our sentence is my dog Peppa. Because when we say subject, we are talking about a certain person, animal, or object to which we are talking about. And here we are talking about my dog Peppa. Another constituent here is the predicate that describes what the subject is doing. It is also known as our verb phrase, bit the postal carrier on the ankle. I know it's confusing, so I also have another example, which is my friend came home late last night. We found out that the sentence consists of 7 words that is arranged in particular order. It is therefore arranged in an ultimate constituents. The words are arranged into structure, allowing grammatical elements of which the sentence is composed. We also have transforming declarative to interrogative constituents and vice versa. We could just easily assume that on this example, we would just going to transform the auxiliary verb, turning it to declarative by moving the auxiliary after the noun phrase, and that is correct. However, in some cases, that rules cannot be followed according to the structure as it may sound grammatically incorrect. Say, for example, this sentence. We can see to the examples that I have provided 2 options. The first one containing the auxiliary verb is, which is the is, it is transformed in the auxiliary verb, where the second one is the modal verb can, but actually the correct option for that one is letter B. The auxiliary verb isn't the one that would be moved in the sentence, but is rather the modal verb can. So moving on from our last topic, let us now proceed from recursion, as if the constituents made us think that we will be dealing with broader sentence. Then on this discussion, we will realize that this topic is broader than the constituency. Considering that recursion is the repeated sequential use of a particular type of linguistic element or grammatical structure. It is therefore something that is not just a word or a constituent, but rather we will be dealing with a full phrase. A constituent can contain constituent of the same type. For example, let's look. Now, the example may seem as a simple structure of sentence containing a subject, which is Mary, and the predicate is tall, which is right. But we are talking about recursion on constituency, so this simple structure may become like this. Mary is tall and beautiful and kind and intelligent, which our simple sentence is being repeated by constituent phrase with the use of the word and, followed by another word. It's like a repetition of a sequential structure of sentence, and we can see that our sentence becomes broader. Another one is John asked Mary out. It's still a simple sentence containing a subject and a simple predicate. But then again, since we are talking about recursion, we can combine the structure of the sentence that we have earlier. So as we put this one together, it will become Mary is kind and beautiful and intelligent that John asked Mary out. And this one realized that constituents can be in another type, and that constituent can form into another constituents of the same type. Infinite number of sentences from a finite number of words and a finite number of ways to combine them, just like what we did.